it at home if you want to.
How is it?
It's on Facebook.
One behind you is what you're doing?
What?
I'm just curious. I don't see a lens or anything.
There's a lens, yeah.
Oh, I see it. I see it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, a fun-looking camera. And I ain't seen one like that.
$75.
This probably cost you more than the
No,
thing did.
it was $40. So it's about $100 on Amazon. Jeff Bezos special. I want you to buy more of his stuff. But he's got it all designed. Yeah, if you were at home, you could watch it on the internet.
If you knew how.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Three people are already watching.
Oh, okay.
Who are you? My name's Frank Gilford.
Frank. Ben English, how are you?
You live here in Delaware?
Yes, sir.
Where do you live?
Off Long Branch.
By Stone Pile Gap.
Don't know where? Where?
Stone Pile Gap.
Don't know where it's at.
Oh, no, really? Then
We
you
only
live
been here a year.
You're not a nugget.
No. Only been here a year. And my
Okay, well,
wife's
it's over there on
family.
the road to Sections.
Oh, okay.
On the road to Sections.
I know where that road's at.
That's Stone Pile Gap, right?
Okay.
That pile of rocks in the middle of the road?
All right. What is that? There was something in the paper a while back.
Well, they're putting
There's a
around
princess. They said there was an Indian princess.
Well,
there.
yes, that's the
Supposedly,
legend.
that's where that's at.
That's the
Supposedly.
legend. Yes.
Okay. To Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you
Yeah,
want
right before there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because let the cars by.
that's the spot. Back in the woods there. East, straight east, back in the woods. Yeah, I've lived around here 14 years.
Okay. Her family's from here years ago.
What's
Nobody
her
here.
name?
Littlefields.
What's her name?
Littlefield
Oh, okay,
Cottage
that's a
downtown.
good-
Yeah.
oh, that's a
Tate
good-
Hotel. And,
That's a gold-plated nugget name, Littlefield.
yeah.
Absolutely. What's great around here?
They're all gone, but we moved up here. Bought a house 3 years ago and moved up here last year. We
Where
retired.
were you at?
St. Augustine Park. Pretty
St.
much.
Augustine's
It's
pretty
gotten too
nice.
busy.
Well, yeah, it is.
We kind of like it up here.
Yeah. No, that flagler. That's neat by the neat
Oh
flagler.
my Lord.
That's
You
awesome
imagine
stuff.
what that was like when it was built. My, because it's fantastic now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's a lot more relaxed up here.
Yeah, very much.
Yes.
Jim.
I hear somebody.
Just talk to in the front row, right here, short right here. Second person to the right.
I don't know. I can't remember her name. She's with Carrie and she's with Captain. Yeah, I think her husband's name is Harold.
Okay, I've seen her a bunch of times. Can't remember her name.
She's a very, very nice people.
I'm terrible with names. I hate it when I introduce Bud to somebody and say, "Hi, this is my wife Bud. Hey Bud, how you doing? Tell her your damn name. Tell her your name. You know, it makes me guess."
Well, I'm terrible with names too, but I get by.
I get by it, Bud, all the time. Hey Bud, good to see you. Hey Chief, how you doing, man? What's happening, Hank?
It's okay with me. You know what? You can call me anything, anytime you want.
I know that's right. I'll get out of your way in a minute. I'm sorry.
Championship at 4?
Yeah, it's like a wedding vow. When I gamble. I lost about 60 bucks. That's how I got the other.
She's the one that will drag on everybody else.
You borrow money. You're not a gambler. It's not the greatest Cherokee's there. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean okay.
Everybody get along.
Special program, special promotion.
But, well,
Give me all the premiums in that.
In other words, they're in.
Amazon is sponsoring this program. What we need to do today
got a great shot
is
here.
to Walmart, Kmart, Georiga, Zipmart, Townhall, Townhall.
Can you see it?
We
Does
have
that look?
we have to make premiums in there. So we need to go get an Amazon gift card. It's the only way you can pay. I said, okay, yeah, we did that. But they give you a number to call and a promotion code. Making it sound legitimate. But I called Dish directly. They told me they were unaware of it. They don't have a promotion. It's a scam. I said, well, you need to put something on your TV screen for people. Let them know this is the scam. And let's go. Every call. It was the 1-800-531-5000.
So you can just be trained. You can just think.
I got a list of the red buttons.
Anytime it rains,
You do the same thing. I'm not wild. We bought wireless. I've been probably never expired. They don't even get the regular stuff back now. Because the new TV is perfect. I have the wireless TV. Anywhere from 6 to 12 seconds. Change channels. 6 to 12 seconds. Sometimes we hit it.
I can't, but I'm working.
yeah.
You guys are so much fun.
not just for the pastors, because I'm glad we had you there. Well, I'm gonna be, I'm there most mornings, so either there I get in around 9:30, and then leave from there. And after that, I'm busy. I'm like busy. But look at this survey. Next time, next thing. Look at this survey. 9:30. I need to pick your brain about what happened or whatever. No, I don't know. You got a problem.
Hey.
Thanks. I'm sorry, that mean you're
That's
late.
okay. Are you Mike Pitts?
No, but I get that a lot. I'll tell
I bet you were Mike Pitts.
I'll tell the president you said hello. Sit down, Mike. I need to. I'm not no kids.
There's your old people.
Okay, what happened is it's 6 o'clock. It's actually 13 past according to my watch, and not saying it's 100% accurate, but it says it's 6, and we said we would start tonight at 6. I'm Sheriff Gerard, but Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office, we have other representatives from other agencies that are here with us tonight. Speak up. Okay, I don't know how much this will, does this help? Microphones make me nervous, I try to do it without microphones. But, everything I say is off record tonight, but I think the newspaper will not agree to that. But I'm Sheriff Gerard from Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office. It's Stacy Gerard, and I have other representatives from other agencies here tonight, and I do not know every one of them. I cannot remember all of them's names, but I can tell you from the U.S. Forest Service. We have representatives from the fire department. We have representatives from the family and children's services over here. The Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office. I don't see the DNR or the GSP or the GBI, but they might drag in here in just a few minutes. But you know, some things I might say might be a little humorous, because I believe it's more fun smiling than frowning. I hope you all agree to that. This meeting is not to be negative. I want to go ahead and put that out. This meeting is not to form judgment or anything. This meeting is to assist the people and make them familiar with what's going on with both sides, because it is getting heated, and there is no need to get that way. This needs to be peaceful. So saying all that, if you've ever saw the movie Lonesome Dove, I don't tolerate rude behavior. I just want to tell you that. So I don't want anybody to be rude in here tonight. Do not be rude. Just be respectful, because everybody has their own values. Everybody has their own concerns, and we will address those, and let's just do that in a peaceful way. That's what I ask for. And that's what I researched with Rainbow, and if you don't mind, I'll refer to it if that. But what I'm being educated on is it's the Rainbow, what's the rest of it? Rainbow Life.
Rainbow Family.
Rainbow Family of Living Life. So, I don't want to cause any problems whatsoever with that. But really what we got here tonight is I wanted this week to talk about the noise ordinance. That's a local joke. Those of you know that I had spoke about the noise ordinance a few times over the last few years, and that was on the ballot, so I know you all are new to there. It doesn't mean nothing to me, but that's just a funny. But we are here to talk about the event that's going on, and I hope that a lot of questions get answered tonight. As I said, I'm Sheriff Gerard, Sheriff's Office, and Rainbow Gathering. It's usually temporary, loosely knit communities, people who congregate annually in remote forests in the world for 1 or more weeks at a time to enact a shared ideology of peace, harmony, freedom, and respect. Anyone is allowed to attend and participate, and participants refer to themselves as Rainbow Family of Living Life. Family of Living Life. The goal was to create what they believe is a more satisfying culture, free from consumerism, capitalism, and mass media. However, the values have been modified recently in an effort to attract more people and more accepting multiple mainstream cultural styles. It is the mission of Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office and its law enforcement partners to protect life and property of the people we serve, maintain the peace and public order. It is my intent to allow freely the freedom of movement, ensure overall public safety is provided inside and outside of the Chattahoochee National Forest, and to enforce all county and city ordinances and state statutes as required and needed. It is our goal as law enforcement to keep anyone and the natural resources protected. This event required additional law enforcement due to the fact that the participants are unpermitted, and the long duration of the event encompassing weeks rather than a couple of days. in order to keep the participants and the citizens of Lumpkin County safe and protected. Additional law enforcement was needed. The decision to visit Lumpkin County at the conclusion of each annual gathering, members from a vision council meet to discuss the next year's location during 2018 Rainbow Spring Council. It was agreed that the gathering would be held in Georiga, Georgia. The one questions here, just be
okay. What the council gave was a general area. There was a spring council that met, and the spring council itself selected this site out of really 3 that were looked at.
That's what I understood. There was 3 in the beginning, and I think maybe it went to 2.
Probably went to 2. It's the other side in South Carolina.
Okay.
And the council made a decision to come here. It wasn't the general area, the eastern
issues, disruptions to endangered plants and animal species, and also fire danger. Luckily, with as humid as it's been here the last few days, the fire danger has not been as much, but it is always possible when that humidity changes. U.S. Forest Service frequently asked questions: Is there a protection plan in place? A resource protection plan is being implemented. The primary goals of the plan are public health and safety, minimizing the impact to the resources and leaving the site at or near pre-gathering conditions, minimizing adjacent landowners, and the County Sheriff's Office is working in a unified command system with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the Georgia Department of Corrections, the Georgia Department of Family and Children's Services, Georgia Department of Natural Resources, Georgia Department of Public Safety, Georgia Emergency Management, Homeland Security, Lumpkin County Fire Department, and the U.S. Forest Service. I further want to commend the Citizens Advisory and Service Board that is also helping us out there, the Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office posse, which was sworn in also to help the law enforcement officer, and for always everything they do serving this community that goes unnoticed. They help us tremendously with a lot of other things that we do throughout the year, and professionalism and going the extra mile for our citizens. So I do appreciate that group that helps us tremendously. To wrap up for the slideshow, and then to turn it over to what a lot of people for questions, is what I'm being told there's like a 90-10 rule, and you all can correct me anywhere on this, but 90% of the people that will gather here will cause no problems. But just like any gathering, it don't matter what kind it is, there's usually a percentage of people who cause problems, which causes the rest of the organization to look bad. Law enforcement is a perfect example of that. In my career, I've had to arrest at least 3 law enforcement officers, and we hear throughout the media occasionally where law enforcement officers get in trouble, get arrested, which taints the whole world of law enforcement. So it's in every group. I want to say that up front. It's in every group. So there is a 90-10 rule for every group. How does this affect me? How does this affect you? We have a city within a city with no infrastructure. When you have this many people that are present in one general location, then it's like having a whole other city just pop up all at once. That's why we have had to increase the extra law enforcement there, because it is like another city within this community that's come up, because we have received information that it could be anywhere from 5,000 to the highest number I've heard so far is 50,000.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. So it could be 5,000 to 10,000. Okay.
It's likely closer to 5.
Okay, 5,000 to 10,000. And I truly, I will not know that number. The U.S. Forest Service has a way that they come up with their calculation, and they have calculated at the date that they feel somewhere around 1,000, I believe it is, that's possibly on site. What do I do if someone comes on my property? As always, ask the person or person to leave. Now remember, the state of Georgia, you cannot harm someone over protection of property. It's only if your life is in jeopardy. So call 911, you ask the person to leave. If they do not leave, call 911. Just remember, if you're not in harm's way, you do not have the right to use any kind of force to protect property. You have the right to protect your bodily harm, but not for property. I just want you to always remember that. That's state law, okay? So, as always, ask the person to leave. If that person does not leave, then call 911. If you see something unusual, see something, say something. Call someone. Let them know because there is things that happen throughout the day, not necessarily just this group. It could be someone else coming in doing something that could be illegal, and we would like to know that information just to keep it all available, and plus it could be something that leads to arrest or some other incident. Laws apply to everyone. I have been approached inside the community. Just yesterday in town, where there was 4 people that identified themselves as being involved with the rainbow gathering. That told me that if I didn't stop all the law enforcement presence, then they was going to be trouble. And I told them that we was not having this conversation anymore, and they continued to walk off. I told them that, you know, they needed to move on, and they did. So, you know, that's where it starts happening that you need to deal with to try to keep that from happening. And I know you can only do what you witness, okay? And laws apply to everyone. They was upset with me because we had made some arrests at the checkpoint gates, and I advised them that we enforce laws equally, and I could not turn a blind eye to that, and nor would I do that. We are being proactive to try to keep this a safe event. Another question that has come to me is about other festivals we have in town here. We plan for it also. We are proactive for it. You don't see the amount of law enforcement presence at some of those events, but we do reach out to the Georgia State Patrol and other groups that come in to help us at all times with those also. But we also have an operation plan that's in motion in case something changes with that, where we always have the others on standby. Those events have history have shown that they have not caused problems with these gatherings that's in the community, such as the Go Rush and the other major events that we have. So we do not put as many what we call boots on the ground in the beginning, but we do have resources for them to come with me. So we will continue to be proactive with action out on the Forest Service community. We will not tolerate lawbreakers. We will deal with them accordingly, just like we would for anyone. That is not to segregate any group. I'm not saying it's just them, because there's other people that get arrested also. So anybody that's violating law, if there's law violated that we have witnessed, we will arrest them. I'd like to say a big thank you to Miss Lorraine Peck, and I saw her a few minutes ago. She's sitting right over here, just sort of sinking down right now. I'd like to mention her and her lovely daughter Ashley, which is right beside her, which is great people in this community. You know, I naturally being busy with the rainbow, I'm thinking about all kind of law enforcement issues. But I get a phone call today, I guess about 1, 2 o'clock, I can't remember. Every day's been just running rapid here lately. But Ms. Lorraine Peck said, hey, have we thought about putting out some type of garbage dumpster there to try to help with the impact with the trash, things of that nature. So I have talked to a company which is Floyd Wimpy's garbage disposal, and he has agreed to come out and leave a container for the event and come and get it, take it, and he has donated that to the sheriff's office so it can come out free, no taxpayers' money. So,
when we throw stuff into that, is it a recyclable type situation, or just everything just go in?
this, you know, I'm not familiar with what he does with recycling. I know we do have a recycling here, but I can tell you with the volumes of stuff that might be in it, I don't think that the county would have the manpower to sort through it. I can see if he has any container that if you all divide out, that we could possibly work that. But we can talk about this and we can work toward that and try to make that happen. But there will definitely have to be two different areas for that to go to.
And that's what I was gonna say.
And
We've already got a team in place there.
Let's just be thankful for getting it trash.
Yeah, we will discuss that. And we will take care of that and we'll accommodate that as much as possible and we'll make that happen, but.
And we will do all the sorting ourselves.
Yeah, happy to do it.
I do, the big thing was, thank you Lorraine for, now, if you happen to see him and if you know his company, if you want to donate to the paying of the disposal, that's up to you. If not, that's fine. He said he would take that too, but he said I would announce that for the paying of. All right. With me, like I said tonight, we do have Andy Baker present, and then we have Betty Jewett, did I say that right? Betty Jewett with Forest Service. Tony McGallagher, did I get that right? Yeah. And then Scott Wilbanks, which is with Family and Children's Service down here in the end. Because I thought there could be a variety of questions that would come up. I know I saw Chief Wimpy over here. And also the county commissioners, I see some back to back. We've got Bobby Mayfield and David Miller, and am I missing another commissioner? Okay, we got two of the county commissioners here. So there could be a variety of questions that come up that I might not know the answer to, so I will defer at that time to that group, whichever one that it affects, so we can try to get an answer. Now, when we do this part of this is going to be limited. It's 6:20, and I'm already in deep trouble because we have our Vacation Bible School going on at church, which I taught all week. Tonight was awards night, and I'm not there. My wife is having to stand up in a few minutes in front of the crowd, and she does not like to do that to present what I did all week, which she don't know what I did. So, I'm going to try to catch up with her, so I would like for this to be over with by at least 7 p.m. That gives 40 minutes. Naturally, if it ends earlier than that, that is great. Because I know that a lot of people have places that they'd rather be on Friday night. But I want us to be civil with these questions. And remember, we're not going to violate rights. We're not going to be negative. There's a question, we will answer it, we will address it. If you don't like the answer you get, we can talk at a later time, but we're not going to get in an argument. Okay, does everybody understand? No argument with this, and no flirting, no name calling, nothing of that nature. Okay, everybody good with that?
Yes, sir.
That goes to everybody. All right. Having said that, I'm opening myself up for. Or do you all have anything you would like to say before I do that? And I want to say this with the Forest Service also. I appreciate some of the bulletins that they have been putting out. They have been putting out weather alerts. They have been putting out snake, animal alerts, things of that nature. So they have been trying to be as informative as they possibly can to let everybody know what's going on in the area. So thank you for that. And if you have not went to the Facebook site at the sheriff's office, we also share those alerts. Also, we share other alerts that's going on in the community, not just this one, but other things that's going on. So I welcome you to put that out. So any questions? And let's go by order and raise your hand. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a property down here on 244 Hallsville Road, and I mean, I can deal with, you know, all the rainbows coming to the town, and I think a lot of us can. But the thing is, you know, we're paying lots of tax dollars to support these people and kind of babysit them with all of our officers to make sure, you know, everything's under control. And I just think they should kind of pay that forward by, you know, helping do some community service to pay all those tax dollars back that we're investing into them. Because, you know, otherwise, if they weren't here, all those tax dollars would go back right into our community and help it become better. So I think we should, you know, make it fair and have them pay the same amount.
I will say this. I appreciate your comment there. Now, you pay taxes already, I want to say, and the federal government is reimbursing us back for what we are doing with our manpower at the location. So we are getting reimbursed back for that. I know us and another agency is also. And I got a young man right here who will make a comment.
Hey, my name's Barry, and I just want to comment about the money. And that is, there's a lot of merchants in town, a lot of businesses. And I promise you 5,000 to 10,000 people are going to bring in money and customers. We've been really pleased with the local community. They've gotten along well with us. Walmart likes us, the Ingles likes us. There's no we're going to bring in dollars to make your community better. And those dollars, we work hard for that. I'm a teacher. It may not be, fancy clothes. It may be propane and camping supplies and things like that. But a lot of people make an extra dollar.
And just a suggestion too, maybe instead of shopping at Walmart or Angle, you shop some of the local businesses around here that help support the community even more.
Happy to do it.
If you can find us a on your site. If you can give us a few stores that we would like to help out, we would be happy to recommend people shop at.
Yeah, we can do that, right?
Good. We like that.
Okay.
Dave,
Yes, sir.
I want to make a note that we no longer have a hospital with snake venom, and you have to go to either Janesville or toward the North Side Hospital. And with a rattlesnake or a copperhead gets you, you got 10 minutes to get there, and then 30 minutes to wait.
Okay, there is some misconception of that. The hospital is open until July the 26th.
Good.
I know there was a post that went out that, somebody apologized, there he is over there. Yeah, he's turning red over the corner. But that post went out of June the 30th, which is not correct. I know some people called me upset, and I'm like, I didn't even know the date that the hospital was closing, but it's July the 26th. Now, whether they have anti-venom on hand, I do not know. I do not know that. Yes, ma'am.
One question I had is, this area is fairly remote, and in the past we've had some serious bicyclist accidents and so forth. It's very hard to get an EMS in there or an ambulance. So what is the plan if one of the rainbows, is badly injured? Who's responsible for the medical emergency response to get that person out and get treatment?
Well, just as always, I'm not just going to say Rainbow. If anybody get injured, they would respond, and then if they have insurance, don't have insurance, it would go the same process as anyone else. I know the fire chief is over here in the corner. I do know that they try to bill the person for some of the expenses to come back, and then that's a civil process between them and that individual. And that's for anybody. That's not any particular group. That's the way it's been for a while. Okay.
Can I ask a question? This is to answer that question. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. My name is Tom Corrado. I'm from North Idaho. I work at the medical group out there. And that was how I got involved. It was meeting something like this going on in our area. And I said, how in the heck is the local hospital going to handle 20,000 to 70,000?
Can't hear you.
And so,
Can you talk louder, please?
You guys can have the hospital be able to hold 20,000 people?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not. I apologize that I took a slide this public. My name is Tom Corrado. I'm from North Idaho, military, retired.
Louder.
I worked as a volunteer firefighter EMT, and about 8 years ago I started working with the Rainbow family because I saw the need for more medical help. And we try to stop everything out there that we possibly can. We treat, on the busy days, we treat between 200 and 300 people a day in our medical tent. And also, we have vehicles that we use to transport people. We're set up the rendezvous with the fire department currently. We're set up the rendezvous with the fire department currently, and I think I'll start losing battery here. And to rendezvous with them whenever we have an emergency, so they don't get stuck in traffic trying to get out in that area. We also we have doctors, we have nurses, we have EMTs, we have a wide variety of staff out there to treat medical problems, and we also treat passerbys, and we treat visitors, and
What he's saying is they will try to take care of everything that they possibly and legally can, and what they cannot, then naturally our emergency services will take over. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Stacy. This is a question not pertaining to the Rainbow Group specifically, but any group in general, in regards to the impact on our town and on the forest land there. Specifically, groups over 75 are required by federal law to obtain a permit. Why are we allowing a group of this number to be on this land with no permit?
Yeah.
Good job.
So my name is Betty Hewitt, and I'm the forest supervisor here for the Chattanooga.
Can't hear y'all. Speak up. Speak loud.
Oh, Lord, is this loud enough? Okay. So my name is Betty Hewitt. I'm the forest supervisor for the Chattanooga Pony National Forest. I've been in this room lots of times for meetings. And so, yes, unfortunately, the Rainbow Gathering is not authorized on the forest.
Kick them out.
But why aren't
Well, here's the thing. Everyone is welcomed on the National Forest. We are governing the gathering with our current regulations, our forest closure orders. I'm not going to just kick anybody out on the National Forest. They are not there. They don't have an organization. They're not charging anybody to be here. And so I'm not going to get into an argument, into a debate with you about it. They've not applied for a permit. And so we're going to work with them to have their peaceful assembly. And then we're going to protect the resources and to protect the people. Anybody can come to the National Forest and gather and enjoy the National Forest. But they are here not authorized under a special use permit. They're not. And so we're going to continue to work through that.
That's the law. So you're allowing them to break the law, is what you're telling me.
I'm not allowing them to break the law.
They've been doing this for 40 years. Tell them they've been doing this for 40
Let me break
years.
this down in common language. Well, I understand my research has showed back in 2008, they was granted, and you can correct me where I'm wrong, they was granted a permit or granted the right to go without the permit. So that set precedence on that, which means from that day forward, until that changes in Washington, they only enforce their policies that are in place at this time. And their policies in place at this time is that they do not deter the event because the precedence was set, and if I'm not wrong, it was in 2008, I believe 2008, and therefore they have no power to change that at this given time. Now, if laws change or if the mindsets change from Washington, D.C., then that could change where you would have to do a permit. But at this time, that is not there. I know that people ask me a question, ask the commissioners questions of why we're allowing this to happen. There is no law that stops it at this moment in time. Now, whether that will change, I cannot answer that. I have no idea with that. Yes, sir, real quick.
Well, I first would like to mention about the First Amendment, but secondly, almost every camp that I visit is actually under 75 people, and so I don't have any control about anyone else's camp, and I'm not going to tell you there's not camps that are over 75 people, but any camp that I've ever camped with has always been under 70 people.
Okay, and another thing with their organization, there is no one in charge, so they say it's, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's the most organized, disorganized group is what I've heard. And, you know, that could change, but the problem, and I'm going to be honest here, I'm honest, I was very upset with that because I feel if a law-abiding person goes up there today, over 75 people, they will be dealt with, but this group is not dealt with, and that personally bothered me, and it still bothers me, and I'm trying to get beyond that. I realize the way the law is at this moment in time, there's nothing I can do about it, but I promise you I am trying to get it changed for the future where everybody has to go through the permit process. That's all I'm asking. Everybody go through the permit process. And it will be up to Washington D.C. whether they decide. Yes, sir, Mr. Gilbert.
Stacy, are you aware that these people have been conducting meetings like this in the National Forest for over 40 years?
I am aware, I'm also aware that over 40 years everyone else has done it.
Yeah. Also, are you aware that many of the founders of this organization were Vietnam veterans? And this organization was founded because Vietnam veterans did not want to attend 4th of July celebrations where there was fireworks. Think about that.
I understand, okay? I'm with it. I'm all with it. Yes, ma'am.
So, my name is Brittany Leeds. I'm a resident of Lumpkin County. I grew up here. I went to school here. When I graduated from the University of Georgia almost 6 years ago, I decided that Lumpkin County was the place where I wanted to come back and live. The main reason for that decision was that I believed in this community. That this community was one of the most welcoming that I had ever experienced. The people in this town are notorious for helping their neighbors, and I love the idea of living in a place where people love people and will pick them up when they may be going through hard times. However, it seems that with the announcement of the Rainbow family coming to our community for their national gathering, certain segments of our town became fearful and somewhat judgmental before even giving these people a chance. My concerns about, nor is it about those participating in the gathering. My concern is a large presence of U.S. Sheriff Gerard and some of the questionable things that I've heard told to me by what seem to be peaceful people who want to enjoy the beauty of the National Forest just like we all do and why we moved here. To the LEO officers, we're thankful you're here to protect us all. People in Lumpkin County, including our visitors, we should be protecting them as well. As y'all said, you're trying to. I have a question for you guys though. Of all the arrests that you have made, how many had a victim? How many were violent? How many involved property crime? How many were for non-violent marijuana? And how many are for dusty tag infractions? We appreciate you're here to keep everyone safe, including our visitors. I beg of you to please slow down on our county roads. I understand that Lumpkin County is used to hosting tens of thousands of people here for events, and on any given day there could be thousands camping in everyone's national forest. That being said, I've personally seen some questionable, disturbing, and excessive encounters with law enforcement officers, which subject our town to possible lawsuits, as there have been plenty of people videotaping, and there is precedent for successful profiling suits in other states, such as Missouri. I have heard from many in our community that have visited the gathering. They say they were welcomed and felt safe. Multiple people, however, have said they felt bullied and embarrassed, not by the Rainbow family, but by law enforcement. I am one of those people. Almost every time I have visited the gathering, I've been followed. One time, almost to my home, all the way across town. I have almost been run off the road due to speeding law enforcement vehicles, and have accounts from other people of this happening to them as well. As a longtime resident of Georiga, I'd like to see everyone get to come and go safely and have a good time. I also would like it not to cost our taxpayers an arm and a leg. We could use this as a learning experience, or we can turn it into a disaster. I am shocked at how we are treating our town. This is the big part. I've heard accounts of people being strip searched, child protective services coming in to quickly remove a mother and her child from the gathering in the middle of the night. I have personally watched people be arrested and harassed, so I must ask Sheriff Gerard this question. Are you okay with visitors of Lumpkin County being treated as lesser human beings simply because they may have a different political view, different ideologies than we may have on how to live our lives? I urge you, Sheriff Gerard, to take a look at the situation that has been created and ask yourself if you feel comfortable with the way these visitors are being treated. Think about the amount of taxpayer money being wasted. I understand that you want to get ahead of the situation before it arises, but that can be done with a lot more tact than what I've witnessed. Would you want your family members treated in such a way? during your family vacation. Let's not relive the mistakes of our past. Let's not relive the mistakes of our past and discriminate against people just because they look different than us.
Okay. Thank you. Everybody has but I can honestly say the ones that I know of that's been dealt with was violating the law. And they have video cameras on their uniforms that was videoing also, so theirs will not be edited. No, wait just a minute.
And they'll be made available publicly?
They are open. I have to check with the open records laws to see when you can get them. If it's after the case is closed or what, I'll have to refer to open records for that, because I do not want to violate the law, but you nuisance now. And I would expect my family to be treated the same way. I'm 31 years old, members, so I know how that is. When I swore these officers in, I done it by saying I want you to treat people with respect, just like I would treat people with respect. And at this point in time, that's what I have witnessed. Now, these same incidents that you talk about, I have witnessed some things with that, and it's a whole different side. You've only heard one side. There's always 2 and 3 sides of every story.
I saw this.
Okay? And I saw illegal activity, okay? So, if they're violating the law, they get arrested. And there is law enforcement with that.
But we shouldn't harass people based on preemptive crime.
Okay. Yes, sir, Johnny Law.
You know, it's not, 90% of them are fine. It's the 10% we got to worry about. So let me fill this out. So, say you figure 10% mobilize and they come into town, in the square. Say 2,000 people at once. Roll into our town square.
That's
Do
the
you
whole
have the staff to
population.
deal with that? Because let me tell you what's going to happen. Some people, some of the merchants will be a little nervous and they'll probably end up locking their doors. Because it's the unknown. We don't know. But do you have the staff to deal with 2,000 that march into town at one time?
At this moment in time, we do with the assistance we have with other agencies. But, you know, I would have to refer to them for history of other areas. You know, I'm not familiar with that happening anytime. If anybody would like to speak on that, maybe you had a history of something. None? No history? So that's why I wanted this meeting, to educate that I hope it is a peaceful event, but we have measures in place to protect both groups, whether it's the citizens or the groups of the Rainbow. That's what we're here for. Okay? We have measures in place for that. Yes, sir.
Well, first off, it's not even 1%, not even 1 out of 100 that seem to have a bad attitude. They don't really have. And 2,000 people descending on a town, of course he doesn't have the ability. 2,000 youths or thugs, whatever you call them, broke down Baltimore City 2 summers ago and locked down the inner city, 2,000 people. This is a nice little town. It's gentrified. If people have complaints, I didn't see it when I first came in. We had a couple beers at the Irish Pub. Everybody was friendly. I think you have to remember, we're all Americans. That's the bottom line. The people that call themselves the Rainbow Family, they don't go there because they're expats. They don't go there for any particular reason. They go there because they say, we're Americans. This is a free country. And we're going to gather in the land we own, which is our national forest. These guys, they work for us, and they know it. I've been going to the gathering for close to 30 years. I have never had any interaction with any law enforcement that has been polite and nice to people. But that isn't always the case. There's always, if you talk the Super Bowl, or go right down there to Atlanta when they have one of their big Atlanta games, the Falcons, and you stopped everybody coming in. For every 4 people, and said, let me look in your car, you find a lot more drugs than you will find coming into the gathering. And just like in your own neighborhood, like you know who the bad guys are, maybe it's your son doing stuff, sitting at the gathering. We know what camps maybe aren't behaving or not behaving, and people try to take care of them. But believe it or not, in 2 weeks, it'll be over. And those same people there, a lot of them, they love the same God you love. They love the same goddess you love. Some of them are atheists, maybe just like you guys are. Probably not up here, though. Probably not. But that's what you have to remember. There's very few bad apples, just like in the world. You know, our hearts and minds of all of us are really for the good, the godness in all things. The evilness or the badness, there's not much. But
well, it's in other areas also. It's not just one area.
Hi. I was up at the gathering. I didn't really quite get to the gathering. It was Wednesday morning. I volunteered at a local food bank, and Tuesday we had an excessive amount of kale. And I thought, I bet they like kale. And so I'm going to carry them up some kale, and I was curious because I horseback ride in that area and have been for the last 25 years. And I wanted to make sure that they were going to eat it clean. And so I'm kind of on a two-sided street here. I'm curious and plus. So when I get up there, took a pretty good drive before I even saw anybody. I think I was up before they were. And we was on 77, the yellow road, the one and before I got there, there was a sign that said, ambulance pick up here. And then there was another sign that said back. So I go up the road, find some vehicles, and they're stopped, and it's a one-way road. And I get out and I said, hey, I got some food here, can I get to the kitchen? And they said, well, you can't get to the kitchen from here. It's 3 or 4 miles. You have to carry everything in. And I said, I know you can drive to Jones Creek. I can't there. He said, well, you can't go. You have to park and unload and carry all your stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, okay, I'm not carrying it. But all these fellas come out, and they said, well, we'll take it. And there was a big school bus, and it happened to be a soup kitchen or one of their kitchens. And I said, well, let me just give you the kale and the hams and the turkeys and such. And they gladly took it. But one of the Oregon forest rangers come up to my husband and said, you have to back up. And we said, where to? He said, about a half a mile down the road. And we go, why are we backing up a half a mile down the road? It's right here. And they said, if I didn't back up, they were going to give me a ticket. And I said, I'm not going to get a ticket, and we're going to unload this food. You know, I felt like it was entrapment because they had a one-way road and it was stopped, and then it would only took 10 seconds really for all these guys to jump on the truck and unload and stuff. But they were trying to give us a ticket because we weren't backing up fast enough in a roadblock that they had created. And I looked and I said, there's only 14 cars here, sir. What are you going to do when there's 1,400? And I was just saddened.
Okay, we have someone else from law enforcement that was present with that, or he knows about it, and I'll let him talk about it. But here's the big problem with that. This area is to me was poorly picked because it does not have the openness, the area to be able to turn around. There's cliff on one side, there's bank on the other side.
It would
So
be if y'all
it
didn't chop
was
down a tree in the middle of the exit. So.
it was poorly.
I understand it, but this was a one-way road they created. I mean, it was.
And there's reasoning for that.
Okay, but I have just one more final point, and I'll sit down. Needless to say, I did get a ticket, but I did see him writing out other tickets. And the other thing was, will you be opening up all the gates that you closed so these people can't drive to these areas once maybe some of them leave so they can get the garbage out of there conveniently? You're not making it convenient to get their supplies in, but will you open the gates so they can clean the place up?
As far as search.
My name's Andy Baker. I'm the district ranger here locally, live in Blairsville. And so part of the issue is we have to balance the fact that there is no permit, there was no pre-planning, with public safety. So if you have road closures, it's to keep the general public safe, keep the participants safe, best we can.
From what?
I didn't see how backing up this single cliffed-off road for half a mile was safe. When I know that road and there's a turnaround up there that you could have done turned around or gone straight on through. If you pull up your map, I'll show you where it's at. You could have drove right through. It was created.
One last point, and I'll stop. So why aren't we allowing them in on the roads that are behind closed gates? Because we don't allow the general public on those roads for natural resources.
You closed that road as soon as we arrived.
And you have it open for equestrian events.
Trails are open to people. Trails are those roads if there's a public safety risk.
What's the public safety risk why you closed that road when we arrived?
That's a dangerous road. You can't have traffic on a road. It's just that many people. You can't have one man situation.
Okay, that's part of their rules, and that's what the decision is that's been made. That's something you'll have to take up at another time with the U.S. Forest Service.
Okay, but I want to talk, I understand that. I don't want to comment about the roads, but I want to comment about the idea of what courts have said. And that is the road we're talking about is the road to Springtown. And it is the outside way to get there. And they put a tree in the road. So if there's an emergency, we can't get out. Okay, and that was by intent, and it's not health and safety, and the courts have said that they may not interfere with health and safety issues, and that's a safety issue.
Okay, that's something you can bring up with the Forest Service because that's something that they implemented. And also, there again, we get back to the permit process. It could have all been worked out in the permit process.
And that's assuming that their promises of the permit will be the truth.
That's what you'll have to deal with at a later time. Yes,
Resource
sir.
has been refusing to meet with us. 3 times they've broken an appointment to have meetings about health and safety for the community.
And
so
the
we
tree
can't
was
take
cut
it
down
up
by
with
the
the Forest
fire
Service if they
department.
refuse to meet with
Okay,
us.
as I said in the beginning, we would not turn this into a
Excuse me, I
negative.
apologize.
This is not going to be negative
Calling
if
a
we will
woman?
dismiss.
You calling a woman?
Say again.
There's like 3 guys that called her. Why are we so paranoid about
Huh? She said, why are we so paranoid? Go
What are
ahead.
they gonna do?
She said, why are we so paranoid about these people? What are they going to do?
Pray for peace.
Okay,
What
I
do
can
they
tell you that when it's over with. I cannot predict the future.
They have a track record.
Why are we paranoid? I mean, Oregon,
What, I'm
we
telling you what,
obviously know from Oregon what happened there. And they told you what happened, I mean, as a Forest Service person, you know what happened in Oregon, oh my God. You know, like 5,000 people were killed and here we are. No, that's not what happened. They just were in the forest for a week and a half and now they're leaving and they chose Delaware. I don't know why we're so paranoid.
I can tell you why, ma'am.
Because they didn't have enough money?
No, because people have researched some things that history has shown is why some people are paranoid. So that's all I can.
Who? Why? I don't understand. Why are people paranoid?
Okay, we're moving to a question. Go ahead.
Oh, so I would.
Let her speak.
Listen up.
Good grief.
So
Patriarchy.
I would not phrase any of this as
Wife, sit
paranoid.
down and shut up.
None of this is paranoid. I think the site in Oregon, because I used to live in Oregon, is different. And so, because there was no pre-conversations, I had no choice where the family gathered. There was no conversation. And I will challenge you, I never lied about where we met. Andy has been on site every day at 11 o'clock.
Where?
So,
nobody can find out where the
He has
meetings are.
met where Barry has camped.
I no longer.
I know you're not in charge.
And
Nobody's in charge.
He's point of contact.
So,
I am not point of contact, Barry. Don't you say that.
I apologize. The point is-
Anyway, there's not a paranoia about the rainbow being here. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion about where they want to go and where they want to be. The Oregon site is different. Very big and flat, open meadows. This site is very different. If you guys have ever been up to Bull Mountain, it's different.
What does the mountain have to do with the site?
The mountains is different because where are they gonna camp, where are they gonna park?
Obviously,
If
they're
anybody
already
else
there.
is going up there,
We got like
if
2 hours
people are
there.
parked and block the road, where are people gonna go?
Ma'am? Ma'am, may I address this question real quick? It's kind
Okay,
of...
what they basically said about the closing of the roads, the meetings I've been involved, if you do not close some roads and try to route people to a general location, then roads will be blocked. And they will take over the area that we would not have control of. We're trying to keep control of the event as much as possible. Yes?
Me?
No, the lady in the back that's been...
I'm glad you're closing the roads, and these roads are dangerous, and people who come in here and haven't been to this forest before really don't understand that, and it becomes the civil rights thing, and I agree, everyone has the right to be there. But these roads are dangerous. There have been a lot of accidents on these roads in this area. So I thank you, law enforcement, for everything you're doing. I appreciate it.
I would like to just say how grateful I am to be in your area. I live in Western North Carolina and call these mountains my home. And no matter how you feel about us, I want to thank you and to give gratitude that whatever happened in your life led you to live in this place, because we're all very blessed to be here. As far, my thing I want to say out is that it would be super, super helpful and still maintain safety if we could access some of the meadows that are currently blocked and get roads off of the cars off of the road and safely park in meadows. I would really love to encourage some rapport.
Okay, we're going to move beyond this. Hey, anything about roads, you can talk to the Forest Service at a later time, because they have made decisions with roads and we're not going to change that now.
I have a question about the property.
Yes. About the property?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue here. So I don't think everyone realizes this, but you know, our property values are going to go down because of this, right? It's all over
No.
the
That's not going to happen. That's crazy. Sit down.
That has never happened to me.
Hey, listen up. Listen up. There's no need in getting that way. Let's be professional about this and let's be open-minded. Yes, ma'am, right here, sir.
Thank you to all the law enforcement and everybody that is helping keep us safe, but my question is for the influx of traffic along the Nimblewell Church Road and the other roads around there, how are they going to handle that influx of all the cars on people's private property?
If it's on private property, I would suggest that they call 911 and we can deal with the issue of naturally we can tell them that they need to leave, and if they don't leave, then that's when the property owner has the right to tell us to have them vacate the property. Then if they don't, then they can be arrested. Okay? But the way I understand it, they are all isolated at this point in time up in the Forest Service area. Yes, ma'am.
I live in that neighborhood, and we spend a lot of time every year, every month, in fact, maintaining the whole area to keep it pristine. We have group gatherings, and anytime we have large group gatherings, we always apply for permits. We also supply porta potties. And I would like to know, with all these little separate campsites, how in the name of God we really clean up that mess. And because we want to have it clean the next day when we go there, not a year later. And I applaud the law enforcement for closing the roads, closing the meadows, because those are a source of pride to all the right people and worst people who drive through there. They're beautiful, they're untouched, and we spend a lot of time maintaining that, as well as national forest and everything else. And so, and having a group this size, you know, you guys, the family has obviously resources. You can spend months at a time at the council meetings and coming to these gatherings and organizing them and driving and flying to get here. There is money available to take better care of the facilities instead of dumping it all on the federal government and national forest and the local people who work hard to maintain it. And I think the most important thing is to at least have porta potties out there, not spread all your poop all over the place.
Okay, there again, I do agree with this lady. I can tell you precedence was set back in 2008, which allows this to happen. Any group that goes over there illegally gets dealt with the U.S. Forest Service except this group. Now, I have reached out to Sonny Perdue, which is, what's his name?
He's the Secretary of Agriculture.
Secretary of Agriculture. I am trying to encourage him to come to this location to witness this, so that hopefully in the future we could get some things changed throughout this state and throughout the nation to implement the permitting process where the same measures will apply to all groups, any group that uses it. It don't matter what group it is, the same measures apply. Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Wing. I live in Atlanta. It was not my idea to have the national gathering come to my home state, but I'm really thrilled that it's here because I can get to it. I usually can't go. If this is the 47th annual Rainbow Family Gathering, and I assure you that if we had left a mess behind at those gatherings, we would not be still allowed to gather. We have used the Army Field Manual for our field sanitation practices. And we are diligently teaching that to newcomers so that diseases don't spread, and if diseases had spread in the past, we would not be still doing this. We have people that volunteer to stay behind for 2 or 3 weeks, and I have copies of letters that the Forest Service has given us at past gatherings when they do their final walkthrough, and all the conditions are met, and they're always pleased as punch. Now, they do not give us these letters anymore because it has come down from on high that these letters contradict the official propaganda that we are a nuisance and make a mess. But that is not the case. We are in the forest because we love the forest. We are not in your town. We are in the forest. That's where we want to be. We want to be as far from any town as possible.
You're in my town, though.
The last group
I'm here because of this meeting. I would be in the woods. I would be in the woods at my camp.
I can tell you under personal knowledge, because I was here when it was in 2012. I don't know the length of time that the area of Bull Mountain was shut down because they did have the regional gathering there. As memory recalls, Bull Mountain was shut down, was it 2 years?
2 years.
2 years because of the things that was left behind.
Because of trash.
Because of what?
Trash?
Yes, and debris and other things that was left.
You sure it was us that left it?
2 years.
Yes, sir. Did you have a question?
Well, I've got more of a response to the young lady over here. Number one, the drug arrest and everything we've been hearing about, that's not a victimless crime. That's a crime against the laws of the state. Okay? So
the state's a victim?
Yeah, teenagers go to jail for that.
Absolutely.
Come on, douche.
The second thing is talking about cutting trees down to maintain, where cars can go, where they can't go. I was up there today. 28-1 up above, right where going up 77, cars on the side of the road. Car. I don't know how y'all get around this.
Is it bicyclists? No, Matt, your bicycle is already.
And I applaud the law enforcement presence out there. They are not stereotyping anybody. I know locals that drive those roads every day. We rarely see police out there, ever. That are getting tickets, going through the same checkpoints, just like everybody else.
Okay.
We have been some that have been arrested also.
My hairdresser drives that road every day. My question is, why would these rainbow people come to a state that does not allow marijuana when they could be going to California? I live up there. You know what? Because they felt it was friendly. And you guys want to be so
Lady, sit down.
This I think the question was, why did they come to a state that where marijuana was illegal? I can tell you that some marijuana arrests have went up, but am I saying it's all this group? I am not saying that. I'm just saying that some marijuana arrests have went up, and we will enforce that law. The group that gathered around me yesterday stated that I need to turn a blind eye to that, and I will not do that. All that applause was for you.
Hi everyone. I live here. I recently, in the past few days, was pulled over by a U.S. Forest Service officer. And I was asked, give your ID. And then I was asked, do I have marijuana in my car? Which I felt like was 100% stereotyping and profiling of some kind. Would you disagree?
You're resident.
I was not, I was not present. I'm here in, I can tell you that a lot of times in law enforcement, whenever they ask questions, they're asking generic questions, just to
But
try.
I mean, marijuana is not the main drug, I feel like, that's recently been busted in this area, it's meth, or something of that nature.
I am not trying to stereotype people, so I'm not saying this area, I'm not saying what type of arrest. I can just tell you that there's law enforcement presence there, and there have been some people that have been arrested. Whether it's this group or people just passing through, I do not know. Okay?
And then one other point I'd like to make, has anyone considered the positive effects on the local economy that this gathering could have? Definitely. Has anyone considered the positive effects on the local economy that this gathering definitely would have?
The history will show, ma'am. I think I don't know.
It has shown.
Are there any business owners, local business owners here? Stand up if you're a local business owner. No local business owners show up?
Okay,
you know, I would like to live in a trendy place, and if this place is like really redneck, anti-social.
Okay, we got a question over here. Listen up, we got a question right here. Hold up, listen up. Let's be respectful to everyone, okay?
I would like to specifically speak to you, which are officers, and I'm not going to talk about the whole state. But when it comes to our disabled people, please be a little bit more sensitive.
I'll repeat it.
It's not for you, it was personally for him. There's some laws for disabled people that you do have to take account for. I know you weren't there and stuff like that. And we worked it out with the officers, but I really think that you guys should. And then he even asked him, do you know these set of laws? And the officer said no. So that's just something to look into. Because
Okay,
it's a
there
very sensitive subject.
are laws for ADA compliance, disabled, you're exactly right, and it's something that could have been dealt with in the permit process, because it could have been set up where this could possibly be. You cannot come to an event.
The relations with the police and this disabled person, you can't tell somebody to get off the road after you're yelling at people. People's moving, and this guy without a leg, okay, and you pick him up and you literally forcefully put him to the side, and nobody was there to help because everybody was too scared to get arrested for being on the road.
Okay, may I address that?
I was there, I'm just here.
So I was there, and I will address that. This young man was yanked out of a car. The fifth time, the same vehicle was stopped for a safety check. They yanked the man with one leg out. They strip searched him in front of everybody. He said, please, take my property. The day before they made him stand for an hour and a half until against the officer's request, I gave him a chair. And then it turned out there was nothing. The next day, on the fifth time, the same vehicle was pulled out. He was strip searched. Okay? Okay? Now, you know this is going on, and at some point, and then that was the third day, they were parking cars. He was sitting a little too far on the road, and they physically picked him up and threw him.
Okay, I'm hearing on one side, and I've asked them which has been on the ground. They're saying that, was anybody around when this law enforcement this took place? Okay, I do not, I'm not saying that it would not happen. They would be video cameras that would be available with law enforcement. Yes, there's video cameras on the line.
I think that you'll see that. Okay. I think the media already has certain elements of it, and we're gonna discuss it more. But what we're looking for is, even though we disagree on a single law, I think that we have the right to live our life. And 5 times stopping the same car, strip searching, a one-legged man, that is not how you treat guests in our community.
What I would recommend is that man file a complaint and we'll follow through with it.
He will.
Yes.
Great, I'm really glad, I want to talk about this for a second too. So, my name's Alfalfa, that's the name. I work with a medical camp, and I was helping out with an incident the other day. I come up, and there was a domestic dispute between a woman and her, at the time, partner, and the partner left the woods, and then called Child Protective Services, that's what we sort of call it in California, you guys call it DFACS, and called DFACS, reported that the child was being abused. DFACS had to come in and make an investigation. They went in the middle of the night, it was 11 o'clock at night, into this woman's campsite to check on her child. They go through and search her whole entire camp space, search everything in her camp space at 11 o'clock at night with a 2-year-old son, even better, 2 months. 2-month-old son. And then they remove her from the woods without telling anyone. They are keeping a barrier between me, I'm a medical professional, I'm there to help her, trying to advocate for this person who's terrified because they're taking her child away from her arms in the night to check on him when she's done nothing wrong. They take her away, they make sure that myself and then a small group that's gathering as this is happening are forming. They keep us back 10 feet, they keep pushing us back, they will not let us talk to this person, they will not let us try to help her and advocate for her. So then they take her. So they take, but there was no finding at that point. There was no finding at that point. Right, I understand what the law is. I don't have a question, I have a comment. This is a comment.
Let's give her respect.
So, right, exactly. They were doing an investigation, and they took this woman away, and now they said that this gathering space is not safe for children, or for her child to be at. And now we have other people that are scared. And so that woman could not be here tonight because she's terrified that if she shows up even here, that they'll take her baby away, even to tell you all what has happened. She's camping in the woods with her kid. You all go camping in these woods, hopefully with your children. And she had something happen that I'm saying is not likely would happen to you if you did the same activity.
Okay, there's always other versions that comes in, and Family and Children Services, would you like to say anything to that?
Well, I can't speak. Good evening. My name is Scott Lomax. I'm the Director of Family and Children Services. And welcome y'all. We're glad you're here. Hopefully everything's peaceful, hopefully everything's safe, particularly the children. I can't speak to any particular incident with the Rainbow family or with any other family as far as an investigation. We do go out, we do assess. Child was not in our custody. We can't force anybody to do anything. And I'm not going to speak about any particular case, but we will go out and we'll always assess, and we will make sure that we're following our responsibilities.
At midnight? They were being detained, by the way. We asked if they were being detained, and they said they were being detained.
With 11 vehicles and dogs, and coming through and saying we're taking children.
And we don't have any 11 vehicles or the dogs.
No, they do.
You don't.
And they ask for help.
And on their behalf, it does not matter what in this community. I have witnessed, it does not matter what hour of day or night, anytime that they have had a complaint that they feel that they need to follow up with immediately, they have responded. So as far as the date and time, that is what it is. Now, also, I do know that with some interaction that's been taking place, that's why numbers of people have went with other entities in to keep safety. Such as an event yesterday with a record driver trying to tow a vehicle out, where people jumped on the record, started jumping on the hood, started trying to stop it.
I got proof. I got you. Nobody jumped on the hood. They jumped on and offered money.
Okay.
And said, let us buy the car when you bring it down.
Okay, we're going to stop that, because you cannot conduct business that way. Law enforcement presence was not there when that happened, but the record driver has all the information, And that's why we're escorting people in and out now because of that infraction. And people will be arrested. You cannot do that. You will not impede free flow of traffic. You will not cling to a motor vehicle, or it can be disorderly conduct. We will not accept that.
I completely agree.
All right, yes, sir. All right, any other questions? You sure?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, sir.
So, I just have a quick question. So on my property, it's a few acres, and there's some animals that roam around there, and sometimes, mushrooms pop up. So if I see someone walking around, or one of the rainbows, trying to gather some of these mushrooms, is it illegal to grab the mushrooms? Can I call the police on them?
Okay,
Be arrested?
here we go. Real quick. Hey, I'll tell you, listen. Not against any person or anything, but if someone is on your property and you ask them to leave, they need to leave. If not, call 911. And I'm not saying any group, it's just if anybody is entering your property that you do not wish to be there. Okay, got another one. Let me get someone that has not had a question. Wait a minute. Go back here, back.
The next guy is over there.
Ladies, sit down. Sit down, ladies.
Let's go on that.
This is my wife.
Yes, sir.
I married her 40 years ago.
Congratulations.
She has the right, just like anybody else in here, to say what she thinks. If anybody wants to discuss it with me out front, we can talk.
Now, hey, sir, congratulations on 4 years of marriage, but there's a man back here who has not had a chance to speak. I was going to let you be
No,
next.
I just want, I love the Nugget. I think that's a great newspaper. But the Nugget reported that, in an editorial that, when the rainbow people are coming and yada, 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 and then we've already had reports of bad things happening. It was like what? I mean, can you tell us, like, what happened? I mean, have you
Well,
read?
I certainly could tell you the report.
Okay,
And
great.
that is, there's a political organization that also does law enforcement, and they came in advance, and they gave the local authorities bad reports on it. That's what they perceived as their job. They were fully aware there would be no permit. We came in to negotiate, and although they didn't have a lot of time, we attempted in every sense to negotiate. And you heard them say that I'm not doing it. I was the negotiator, and they fired me from my side because I was too nice.
No, I
Thank you for being nice.
I
Yes.
just thought, the Nugget said, these things are happening, let's be optimistic, and then they said, of course, already things have been reported. And it was like,
They have, but they're on both sides.
So that's why I was asking the guy with the shade.
Okay, now, as I said in the beginning, it's a 90-10 rule. 90% will possibly cause no problem, but there's 10% of any group can cause problems. Okay, even police officers, I said, yes. Even law enforcement gets arrested. Okay, yes, sir.
Greetings from the Great Lakes Rainbow family in Michigan. I just wanted to say thank you to the National United States Forest Service and everyone working together to help communicate. And if you're going to come to this town hall meeting, I just want to thank you guys for your attention and your help in embracing a diverse cultural tribal event. That this is my 12th National Rainbow Gathering. And it's really just an observance from my perspective is a suggestion that we keep open hearts and open minds in the way we communicate, and that we try to not be so aggressive in our tones, and to encourage a healthier dialogue and a more proactive way to create more peace in the experience that we all have. I've been to certain states in the United States where the gatherings have gone really beautifully and really people have worked together really well, and I've also seen certain states where it's more aggressive and more conflict and more violence and things like that. The national gatherings, just for anyone who's not ever been to a gathering of that national gathering, are usually a lot more themselves. And there are certain situations with the regional gatherings which are sort of not managed with the amount of energy and focus that the large gatherings are, that have given the Rainbow a bad name. I've seen, times where regional gatherings where there's trash left behind, arrests are made, and a lot of the people that attend the regional gatherings are more prone to incidences with the police living on the road constantly all year round, rather than just going once a year to celebrate peace and try to encourage a spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood and freedom, and very important values that we hold in our hearts for our entire lifetimes, and hope to ever see manifest into reality. The National Forest provides a great venue for people to spiritually enrich their lives and become stronger individuals with brighter souls. There's a great presence of Christianity at the Rainbow Gathering. There's a Om Shalom, which is a rabbi of the Jerusalem camp. There's also a Krishna camp coming to the Georgia. They're going to be questions only. So the Hare Krishnas are coming. There are a lot of very well-centered and hard-spoken folks from all over the country who travel a long way to just show some love and respect for the land and the environment and the police too. There's a lot of people that will tell the police that they love them, that they care about what they're doing, and they're thankful for this country and the service that they provide. And I'm one of them. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's come here tonight, and thank you for the Rainbow Tribe for their presence here too, because there is a perspective on both sides that needs to be spoken, and I think it's great if it's a healthy dialogue instead of an aggressive one. So
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Might be a great guy for a leader position. I hear that she'd like to do your negotiation for that. But this, what you just stated, is one of the main reasons that we wanted to have this gathering tonight, just so we could squash some of the concerns and so we could relieve some tensions. But I want it to be peaceful. I want it to be able to go forward and be respectful and just with law and order. That's what I want. Yes, sir.
Hi there. I'll try to be as quick as possible. My name's Adam Buxbaum. I go by Finch at the Rainbow Gathering. I apologize for my outbursts earlier. It's all of those years of choir and debate kicking in with my speaking voice. I just wanted to let you all know that we are here to continue interfacing and answer any questions after this meeting is over. We'd be happy to hang out in the lobby or out front and have a more deep conversation. I'd love to talk with you, sir. You might be interested in our Camp Liberty, which has a Freedom Meadow. Brother who's very pro-Donald Trump, and he's got a whole bunch of people there to support free speech and all values. Our Rainbow Gathering is a camp out for everybody. And I just wanted to let people know that I also have on my laptop over there a 25-minute video of the first of 2 times that I was searched without my consent. Nobody found any narcotics because I didn't have any, but you can see the 25-minute footage which is being uploaded as we speak to YouTube of my constant protests being met with rudeness and dismissiveness. And I just wanted to let you all know that I have that footage. And I also have a little bit of footage leading up to when Andy 2 nights ago threatened to have us all removed for civil unrest.
Okay. Now, the video that you could do an open records request once the case is closed, then you can get it with the sheriff's office, which will be a non-edited video. Did you have a question, sir? Okay.
Oh, I see Betty's here. I've been corresponding with her on the phone. I just really want to, I just have been my feelings hurt about getting stood up. I really care about the forest, and if there's any way you can get those resource people to with me, because I want to know about your invasive species, I want to know about your sensitive plants, I just want to work with resource officers. I've been able to, I've worked cleanup for the last 6 years at Gathering, and I've always had a really good relationship with resource officers In South Dakota, they even were 2 years out on work orders, and we installed water baffles and helped them close down trails that have been illegally used by ATVs. So I just really want to work with your people and walk through the site and start talking now about how we're going to do rehab, because the map.
That's something you can take up with them during the event, and hopefully
Let's
you
talk
can-
afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully you can work that out. Yes.
Well, I have a comment. I've been attending these gatherings since the first one in 1972, and I'm not worn out yet. I think some of the initial concern of people is that the media says, oh, they're coming, they're 50,000, 30,000, da-da-da-da-da. Well, we've had 2 gatherings that were 28 to 30,000 people. The first one in Colorado, and then in 1984 in Northern California. And we have never had that large of a group since then. Usually in the 80s, they ran around 20,000. I think last year was maybe 15 at the max. There's a lot of other gatherings happening around the country now. Many people on the West Coast can't come all the way over here. There's regional gatherings all over the place. I think this is going to be a nice, cozy gathering. I'd be surprised if we get 10,000 people. Also, we would like to do, usually we do a rainbow meeting for the community, usually before the Forest Service, but we would still like to do that now. And then we could answer any questions about the sanitation, how we do the marine slit trench latrines, to have really good sanitation and hand washing at all the kitchens. And these are the kind of things that we would like to explain and listen to any more of your concerns. But please, I want you, we are just people like you are. The most important thing in my life is working as a volunteer for world peace. And there are now rainbow gatherings all over the world. And in Europe, they last for a whole month. And it's just amazing. I got to go to my first big European gathering last summer. And it was incredible. It was way up in the northeastern Italian Alps. It was a 2.5-day hike in on a treacherous mountaineering trail. There was no cell. There was no run into town for snippers. Once you were there, you were there. And it was a beautiful experience. I never saw one drop of alcohol in that entire month at the gathering. It was very, very back to the land. The kitchens were great. And we do the same thing here, but we're closer to community. I would not say 90-10 or 10-90. I would say maybe we have 3% of people that sometimes have issues. And our main one is we really discourage alcohol at the gatherings and other hard drugs. We totally discourage that. But still, some people have an addiction, and some people do drink. And that is usually the only problem we have with maybe 2 or 3% of the people.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to just make a comment concerning directions to the Rainbow folks. If there's an official, I know there's no official leader, but if there's a Facebook or 1 or 2 or 3 main sites that you all use for directions as far as to get more folks out here, I'm told, I wasn't able to verify this at the last minute, but there seems to be a lot of confusion between the names Nibblewell Church, Nibblewell Creek, and where Bull Run actually is. One of the directions, I'm told, if you follow it, you'll come to a Forest Service road, AKA known as Nibblewell Creek. That is not a Forest Service road. That's a private road with a private community, and I'm just trying to avoid, any misdirection of people. So if y'all can just get in and check your main sites and check your directions, and just be known that there's nothing on there. There should be nothing associated with the road Nibblewell Creek. We try to post signs out there to kind of direct where Bull Mountain really is, but if you follow the directions as they're written now, it might get you down the wrong road. So if you could all check that out.
So what he just said, you could be sure to check your website and get that clear. And I can tell you the GPS is not always accurate this morning. Any other questions? Any questions whatsoever? Okay, I do want to encourage everyone to be peaceful. I want to encourage landowners to, if you see something that is going on in your property that you do not want to happen, call 911 and we will be there to assist you. And I just want the whole community to be safe, whether it's on the national forest, whether it's in the city, whether it's in the county. I know we have some representatives from one of the adjacent counties here that was concerned. Because just under history, what it shows on some of the website, it shows problems, and that's why people get so up in arms about it. I hope that this event makes that wrong, but I can tell you, most people that live here have a memory like an elephant. If that does not happen, they will remind you that if it ever happens here again. I would encourage always researching an area that would be more open area to host events, because you are isolated with a small amount of space at this location that has large opening areas. I would encourage you to look for areas that have more parking and that's more suitable for this type of gathering. And on behalf of the commissioners and the Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office, we in no way had any way to stop this event, nor did we try to stop the event, because the law does not allow us to do that. I would encourage in the future to go through the permit process. That's only because it can make everyone aware and people can plan accordingly to the event. That's what the permit process is for. And that's for anyone. I'm not saying just this group, I'm saying any group, okay? That's my encouragement to you all. As always, I'm always open. That's the reason I had this meeting tonight, to be able to be here for people to ask me questions or to ask any group questions, and to ask the Forest Service or any entity that's here wanted to be able to get it out tonight in front of the public, because we are responsible. We're responsible for the actions. If there's complaints, file them. They will be researched, and we look forward to keeping this community safe. We truly do. Over here if you got a question.